Won't surrender faith is like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you're crying from the cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping and the shadows could be making history. Through the fire, on the water, used to be a slave, but now you are a conqueror.
They can take my heart, they can take my breath when they're crying from the cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up.
try to cancel us, and it will not happen. It will not work. It will not work. Welcome, everyone, to a special edition, a Thursday night edition of Straight Talk with Joe Villano. It has been an absolutely crazy day. Crazy day. Now, for those of you who know me, know that I post some crazy stuff over the years. And I have never, ever been put in Facebook jail. Ever. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to many others. Today, I got notification that I was on a 30-day restriction, and I have been placed in Facebook jail for a post that happened over a year ago. Over a year ago. We know what's going on. We know exactly what's going on. They are trying to silence us. And it is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. We will be here. Now, we're having some technical issues. I thought I had it all worked out. But it looks like we are on the Villano for State Senate page live on Facebook right now. We are on YouTube live right now. For some reason, I can't get it to launch onto our Straight Talk page. So I'm taking it somebody has probably reported that too. This is what happens when people get desperate. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. For those of you who are new to the show, I am Joe Villano. I am your host, your guiding light through all the BS and all the issues going on and corruption going on in the city. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight.
How about instead, we have those large nonprofits with huge endowments pay their fair share of taxes instead.
Oh, I accidentally hit that. But who is that? That's right. That's my opponent. Talking about how she wants to tax the crap out of nonprofits. But we'll get into that later. Of course, this show only works best when you are involved. So if you want to join in, 203-679-9610. And if you want to email us, straighttalkjv@gmail.com. Again, 203-679-9610 if you wish to call in. Obviously, we do have our disclaimer going on the bottom here because SEC regulations require that we have it. So paid for by the Villano for State Senate campaign. And, of course, Josh Berkshire is our treasurer. So you will see that keep going as we go around. But let's get into the cancellation and the censorship of people. Now, obviously, we don't know for sure who reported us. We do know that it took more than one. We have been running this show for about a year and a half now. I have been on Facebook for the last 14 years. And like I said, I post some crazy things sometimes just to get people fired up. And not once have we ever been reported. So I'm restricted now from going live. Obviously, there's ways around it. But they will not shut us up. They will not silence us. It is damn near impossible to do that. And if we get kicked off Facebook, we have YouTube. And if you're on Twitch, and if you're on Twitter, and if you're on LinkedIn, we have so many ways of reaching you. So this was a valid effort by whoever did it, or whatever group decided to do it, but it got you nowhere. But you'll just have to keep trying a little bit more, a little bit harder next time. So I did not go on TikTok today, just because it's echoey. And I started listening to the podcast the other day. I am working on ways to improve it before I go and and put us back up on there. So everyone remembers I put out, let's just kind of get everybody up to speed in case you're new to the show or you're new to here. So obviously we've been working this I don't want to say investigation, even though it is an investigation, because obviously we're doing the brunt of the work. We found out that a plumber and a maintenance guy was, one was falsifying timesheets and stealing time. The other one was purchasing supplies for residential jobs on the city's account. And one of the vendors realized what was going on and reached out to the city and reported it. So that started the ball rolling. And then it came out with the maintenance guy that he was falsifying timesheets and he wasn't where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there. That kind of rolled into this whole thing too. Obviously, I caught wind of it. I met with the board president. Yada, yada, yada. Doesn't get into too much detail. They asked that I give 2 weeks before I broke the story. I agreed to do that. And then within that 2 weeks, they started giving out pensions. And of course, instantly pissed me off because then I was lied to that they weren't taking care of the issue. And I reached out to the pension board and I asked them a simple question. Did the Board of Ed reach out to you guys to let you know that there are certain individuals that are up for a pension that were under investigation for theft of time and of supplies? And I was told by every board member, no, the Board of Ed never made us aware of it, or else we would have never approved it. So that's what really got that big wedge between myself and the Board of Ed. Because the Board of Ed immediately decided that our best bet is just to shut the hell up now. So when I went back to question the board members, I was immediately told, we can't talk about this anymore. Legal department has told us to keep hush on anything that and refers to this. So moving fast forward 2 more weeks. I saw I saw some of the heads of the police department. I simply asked them, are you aware of the issue? They told me they were aware of what was going on at the Board of Ed. But the Board of Ed had never, and still to this day, has never requested the police department to investigate what happened. All the Board of Ed will say now is legal is handling it. Well, what are they doing? So I started putting some FOI requests in. And if anyone remembers, I put in, I had it up here and then I accidentally closed it out because I was trying to fix the technical issues we had there. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. I want to read the FOI exactly, because it's really important that we understand what was asked of them. And let's do that. Here we go. Acknowledgement layer. Perfect. Look at that. Love it. Okay. So I requested 5 things from the Board of Ed. And this request, now again, this request was made back on August 4th. It is now September 21st. So I gave them plenty enough time to do it before I end up having to file a complaint with the state because they weren't handing over the information. And the first thing I asked for, I requested the Board of Education Superintendent's employment records contract for the last 5 years. So 2017 to the current one. And I got that a week and a half ago, right after I filed my complaint with the state Freedom of Information Commission. Then I requested copies of all school dude work orders assigned to the plumber for the last 5 years. And I requested all the copies to include the date they were assigned, the date they were closed, and or reassigned orders to another BOE employee. Now that's what this is. So when I met with Chris, who is the attorney up for the city, I requested, well, let me go through the other three things I requested. The third thing I requested was I am requesting copies of all communications within the last 2 years, written, emailed, text, etc., between the Board of Education leadership and its employees regarding the misappropriation of City of Meriden funds or supplies by Board of Education employees. So if anybody was messing with funds, misappropriating funds, which these employees were, I wanted those communications. Number 4, I am requesting copies of all communications within the last 2 years, written, email, text, etc., between Board of Education employees and City Hall employees regarding the misappropriation of City of Meriden funds supplies by Board of Education employees. Now, the first one, number 3, we wanted to know whether the superintendent's office or the elected Board of Ed officials were communicating about what happened. Because, again, everybody knew about it, but no one, at no point, did anybody have any communications about what was going on. Did anyone else find that weird? So you're trying to tell me the Board of Education at the highest level did not discuss this between themselves or anything? Not a single text, not a single email, nothing. Nothing written, nothing, not a damn thing. Now, number 4, Board of Education employees with City Hall employees. So I got to imagine that the city hall, I think the mayor, I think the legal department, I got to imagine finance, I got to imagine the city manager, somebody, I would imagine somebody would have emailed over to the Board of Ed and said, what the hell's going on here? Apparently not. Nobody. Not a single person. Nothing written, nothing emailed, nothing text, nothing. Nothing. And number 5, I am requesting copies of all elected Board of Ed board members' communications for the last 2 years, written, emailed, text, etc., between themselves and the Board of Education employees regarding the misappropriations of funds or supplies by Board of Education employees. And again, absolutely nothing. Nothing. So the city of Meriden, their stance on 3 through 5 is that not a single Board of Education member, no one from the city hall has ever talked about this. Now, obviously I'm calling bullshit on that. There is no way that communications were not going back and forth. No way. If anyone else believes that, please raise your hand. The city is in a full-blown cover-up right now on what's going on. And I guarantee I know why. And we talked about it. This plumber was doing residential jobs while on the clock. And they weren't for the city. They were for individuals outside the school system. I mean, anyone could put 2 and 2 together. I am convinced more than ever that high ups in the Board of Education were most likely getting things done at their residence by this plumber on the city's dime. I remember somebody went to jail for that. I remember a high-ranking politician went to jail for that. Does anybody remember who that was? It was Governor Rowland. He went to jail for doing that. So the number 2 on our list is this. So this here are all the work orders. There we go. All the work orders assigned to that plumber for the last 5 years. Now, when I got it, I asked for a couple things, if you remember what I said. I asked for all these copies to include the date they were assigned, which is there, the date they were closed, and or reassigned to another employee. Because there were plenty of these jobs here that were not completed for over a year, that when this gentleman left, someone else had to pick up the slack. And apparently, not the point, but John Benman, when I got this sheet, I don't know if you guys can see it, but every single line item here in every page, in all 212 pages here, the employee who completed the jobs were John, and I don't want to hack up his name, Benham. So, of course, I asked the first question. When I got this list here, I was like, Chris, I'm looking for Jose's. I'm looking for Jose's list. And he told me, well, this is Jose's list. I was like, well, why did it have John's name on it? On everything. And he said, well, when employees leave and work is reassigned, it automatically backdates everything. Now, first of all, complete bullshit. We all know that's not true. Because if that was the case, and certainly the case, that means there should be two, out of all this paperwork, 2 people should be missing. Jose should be missing, and Max should be missing. Because Max left at the same time that Jose did. Yet, Max is on here several times. So, that doesn't carry any weight. You can't tell me that you got rid of everything about Jose on everything at School Dude, and it does it automatically. But did you forget to take Max off? Because Max is on here too, and he's no longer here. So I'm sorry, City of Meriden. Calling bullshit once again. Now, we talked about there were jobs that hadn't been closed out in over a year and a half. And they've been sitting there wide open. And John, first of all, is an HVAC guy. And I don't know, as far as I can see, nowhere is he a licensed plumber. So I don't know why we have an HVAC guy who I'm sure is excellent at HVAC, who's licensed for HVAC. Why is he doing plumbing? And why, through all 212 pages, if I look at the last 4 months, really 7 months, because he left back in end of February, January, February, March. So he left in March because they got their pension in April. So you got to figure from March to now, you would probably see a little bit of John's name on here. But since the supervisor's brother, if anyone remembers, because this gets even better, that they got rid of Jose, and then they bring in the supervisor's brother-in-law and brother-in-law. They brought in his brother-in-law. So the supervisor or director that's not paying attention to anything, obviously letting people run wild. How do they sit there and do, and who they bring in next? They bring in his brother-in-law, who again, I haven't been able to find a license yet for him in plumbing. At least not with the state. So we're bringing in unlicensed plumbers to do city work. But that's a whole nother discussion. So you would have to imagine his brother-in-law started, I believe, May. Why wouldn't those jobs all be assigned to him, who is taking over for the plumber? Everything here should be in his name. But it's not. So what the hell is he doing all day long? There is so much BS going on over there at the Board of Ed in the maintenance department than you'll ever know. That many of us will ever know. And if he is licensed, someone's got to bring that license forward, because I can't find it anywhere on the state website. If you're licensed in the state of Connecticut, you are on the Consumer Protection website as a licensed. So someone needs to bring that forward. In fact, that's probably going to be my next FOI. Is now I'm going to have to see licenses for everybody. Because I can't find it on the state website. And that's usually pretty easy to find. Usually just type in a name and it comes right up. But this is absolute craziness. There are tickets here that were assigned in 2020 that still had not been closed out yet. A lot of them. There have been ones that have been closed out and not even completed, not even done, nothing done to them. But again, that's a whole nother subject. But the story of the Board of Ed and the City of Meriden Legal Department is trying to pull doesn't make any sense. There's way too many holes in the stories here. This is why people don't trust their government. This is why people in the city of Meriden believe that there's no hope. But remember, I made a call about a month and a half ago to the FBI. And my job from them was to try to find evidence of wrongdoing. So there's two more things I need to pull. One, I'm waiting on all the financials from FW Web in Meriden. That's supposedly where all of our supplies are picked up from, for plumbing at least. And they're the ones that apparently were the whistleblower. So all that stuff is freedom of information that we could pull. And then we are going to pull. Then I'm going to pull all the work orders for the brother-in-law. Find out what the hell he's been doing all day. Because again, these things should have been handed off to him. His name should be on every single one of these. Not the HVAC guy. Smells like crap coming from the Board of Ed. Again, which is why I say, come November 9th, after we win this election, my first phone call is to the superintendent of the Board of Education. I'm going to make sure he knows exactly what's coming so they can prepare for it. A forensic audit is coming. Now, I said a month and a half ago I reached out to the FBI. And I reached out to the FBI yesterday. Because when I had this and I went through it all, I started highlighting ones that were suspicious. And I also did ones that hadn't been closed in quite a while. Because remember, during our conversation last with the FBI, they said, okay, well, this looks good, but we need someone to come forward. And of course, no one's going to come forward because people are afraid of losing their jobs. Rightfully so. Listen, at the end of the day, you have to feed your families. I get it. So, if anyone remembers, the FBI told us, okay, well, if no one's going to come forward, then you really have to have a smoking gun. You have to have something that we could point to. So, I scanned it, and tomorrow it will go over to them, this whole pile here. Now, they had me fill out another form last night. So, I filled out an updated form, all the new evidence that we have here, and I sent that into them last night. I just finished scanning this into my computer, these 212 pages. I'll ship that over to them tomorrow. But I think we're getting close. I think we're getting close. And hopefully by the end of next week, I'll end up having that phone call with them again. Hopefully with them giving us good news. So we'll report back on that in next week. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Unless they get it to me faster. But remember, has anyone been held accountable here? And again, it's not like any of this is disputed. None of this is under dispute. The Board of Ed admits that this stuff happened. But nobody's been held accountable. Dave Paul, director of the maintenance, has not been held accountable. In fact, if anything, he's been rewarded. His brother-in-law's got a new job. Steve Kogut, who apparently is the other supervisor. Apparently, no, he's not responsible for anything either. And then they wonder why we bitch and complain about high taxes in the city. And they say, oh, well, the city's got to run. But it's got to run efficiently and productively and legally and ethically. But none of that matters. Apparently, no one in the superintendent's office gives a shit. Nobody in the city hall, in the city manager's office cares. Nobody in the council cares. Nobody in the mayor's office cares. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to be the one to sit there and say, oh, we got to go after, find out what's going on here. What are you guys scared of? Are you scared of Benigni? Are you scared of Rob Kaczynski and the Board of Ed? Hey, what are you guys scared of? What's stopping you guys from doing your friggin' jobs? Instead, we have to go do your jobs. It's so frustrating. But listen, this is business as usual. This is how it's been for decades. For decades, it's been like this. And no one's had the balls to turn around and say no. No. This isn't how it works. And then when I come forward, they can sit there and say whatever they want about me. I don't care. They could try to cancel us. They could try to do anything they want. They could sit there and threaten to vote for my opponent, even though they're Republicans. I don't care. None of that bothers me. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. If that's what you feel you need to do. Because if I was you, I'd be scared shitless too. I'd do everything in my power to shut me up too. Because at the end of the day, you're all going to go down. And I'm going to smile the whole way there. You know, I try never to take any of this stuff personally. I don't. This is one I'm taking personally. Because I had respect for a lot of these people. I really did. And out of respect for these people, I gave them the benefit of the doubt that they were going to do the right thing because they told me what they were. And then they went ahead and screwed me. And make me look like an ass. Did you think I was just going to walk away? I would think that most of you know me better than that. At least I thought they knew me better than that. And now we have to have this. And listen, this is a freaking war. I think they look at it as we are at war with them. They're not Teflon. They're not Teflon. Everything's going to eventually come out. And we're going to keep digging, and we're going to keep bringing out more stuff. They don't want to go to war with me. They don't. Because I am like a freaking pit bull. And again, I don't need anything from them. I don't want anything from them. I care about the taxpayers. I care about the citizens of Meriden who are getting screwed, who are getting robbed. That's who I care about. It's not about an election. It's not about popularity. I don't have an ego I need to inflate. This is about what's right and wrong. Doesn't matter what political side you're on either. Because I love those people. Oh, well, you know, you're a partisan. You're a Republican. Board of Ed is run by Republicans, people. And as Republicans, you shouldn't be tolerating this either. Especially with Republicans running the Board of Ed. This should really piss everybody on the Board of Ed on who is elected. They should be pissing them off. And somebody should be demanding answers. Why? Why is the Board of Ed not demanding answers on what's going on here? Again, if you just follow the breadcrumbs, it all leads to the same place. If you follow the breadcrumbs, they all lead to the same place. The question is, how high does this go up? Where were those residential supplies going? Where was this plumber going? All answers that have not yet been put public. Why? What is the legal department doing over at the Board of Ed that has now gone on almost 6 months And you guys don't have anything? Not even a status report. Not even a status report on where it's been coming, where you're at in the investigation. Why has the Board of Ed not said 2 words about it? They haven't even said 2 words to each other about it. They haven't said anything to anybody. Hush, hush. I'll call you on the phone. I'll see you in person. Because that's the way they do business, so they don't have to comply with FOIA requests like mine. If you do it over the phone or you do it in person, what evidence is there? Where's the paper trail? There is no paper trail. Listen, these people aren't stupid. I'm fully aware on how smart some of these people are. But as with anyone who is doing things outside the parameters of what's legal or ethical, they always screw up. They always screw up at some point. And it's my job to find it. And then when I find it, I will exploit it. But the fastest way to get to the bottom of this is November 8th. Because the city gets a lot of state funds for education. And those funds come with restrictions and expectations. And a lot of accountability when the state decides they want to hold somebody accountable. Well, I'll be the first to tell you, I want to hold people accountable. Just like I want you guys to hold me accountable when I'm up there. I'm not above anything else either when it comes to accountability. But this has gone on for far too long. And it needs to come to an end. It will come to an end. And the truth will be revealed. Either willingly or unwillingly. But everybody should be emailing their Board of Ed members asking what is the status on this investigation. Because I hate to tell you people, there is no investigation. There is absolutely nothing being done about these 2 individuals. They are sweeping this under the rug and saying nothing to see here, hoping we will eventually go away and they can go about their business. And I guarantee you, I will make this an election year issue next year. I've been very blessed over the last 5 years, which allows me to do a lot of things. And I'm one of those people that will put my money where my mouth is. And I will go against people who are not looking out for the best interest of the American taxpayer. I guarantee you that. I don't care what side they're on. This will come to an end. And I'm going to ask the police chief. I want them to investigate this. I don't know why they need the Board of Ed to come to them. If we know wrongdoing is happening, they should investigate it. And I'm hoping there's a way that we can initiate that. But we'll find out. So we'll leave it at it's 8 o'clock. Oh, that's right. We started at 7:30 today. I apologize. I originally had been set up for 7 o'clock, but for some reason nothing would come up. So I had to shut it off and put everything back on for 7:30. So I appreciate everyone who stuck around. Because again, this is a very, very important issue. Public corruption, to me, is the worst crime because you were entrusted to look out for the taxpayer, for the citizens who you represent. And when that trust is violated, for your own benefit, you've become nothing but a corrupt politician. You've become nothing but a corrupt public servant. And those are the most dangerous people in society because they have power over you. They have power over your pocketbook. They have power over your children. It's time for us to stand up and say, we want to know what the hell is going on here. And like I said, everyone should be messaging, sending emails to the Board of Ed, to the superintendent's office, to your Board of Ed members. And I'll plead to you, Board of Ed members, again. For those of you who believe that this is wrong, why are you not standing up and saying this is wrong? Don't let leadership tell you to just be quiet. Legal wants us to say nothing. You can say nothing publicly, but you should be saying something behind closed doors. You should be saying, I want a status report on this investigation on where it's going. It's your right as an elected official. You don't have to follow what your Board of Ed leadership is telling you. I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody else, do your freaking job. Do the job you were elected for. Because if you don't, you end up getting wrapped right up with them. Eventually, someone has to have the guts to come out and say it. Do we have someone on the Board of Ed that has the backbone to turn around and say, you know what? This has gone on long enough. I need to know what's going on here with this. The public deserves and has the right to know. And the Board of Ed members should be asking, who is being held accountable on a supervisory level for these employees and what they were doing? Who was not looking at the financials or the supply list every month of seeing what was being purchased? Why was nobody being held? Why is no one being held accountable for that? These are all basic questions that you could never get an answer to. Again, we just move on, business as usual. Bump in the road. Eventually, something's got to give. And something will eventually give. Somebody will get caught up in this, and they will save their own ass and throw other people under the bus. That's my prediction on how this ends. But we'll see. So, like I said, the easiest way to fix this issue is November 8th. Obviously, we have an election coming up. And obviously, I am running for state senate. So, Emily's having a car wash this Saturday at the Star Dance Academy to help benefit a group of talented competition dancers. I'm taking it, that's the one that's over in Meeting House Village, right? If I'm not mistaken. Where is the car wash? You got to give us some more information on it. Because we got people watching on multiple streams here that probably don't see it. You can wash my car. I'll swing by there. Where is it at? Is it at the academy? So Lisa, just throw more information in the 200 Research Parkway. All right, so everybody, this Saturday, what time is it at? 10 to 1, thank you. So 10 to 1, 200 Research Parkway. Star Dance Academy is doing a benefit car wash to, I guess, for a talented competition. Where are they going somewhere? Are they going to an event or a competition? All right, if you're their spokesperson, you got to give us all the details. What is this for? Where are we going? A bake sale will also be going on. Hey, you don't need to tell me. You don't say that twice. I'm all for a good bake sale. So, I'll hit that up before I head to Norwalk in the morning. With that being said, like I said, you give me more information on that. Competition is in the spring. This helps raise funds for their fees. That's awesome. And then, you know what? Fill Her Up will also do a donation for you. So I'll see you down there on Saturday. And so everybody, 10 to 1, 200 Research Parkway. There's a car wash going on for the Star Dance Academy. And that's for a competition in the spring, so we can send these young ladies and gentlemen, if there are any, to this competition. So I'll see you there. And they're also doing the bake sale on Saturday. So if you don't want your car washed, you can go there just for the bake sale. Okay, so on that note, like I said, the easiest way to take care of all these problems is electing us on November 8th. And of course, no one can sit there and say we're only doing this because of our election. We've been talking about this well before we ever decided to run for election. This is just one of the add-ons benefits of us running in the 13th, which I'm extremely excited about. But last night, we also received the state Connecticut State Police Union's endorsement. Now, that's a big one. That's a big deal for us. We're extremely excited about that. We're humbled by it because, they have put their trust in us to have their backs. And I talked about it last show when I met with state troopers, and we had the discussion about, what really bothers them, what makes them tick, and what do they need. And I always thought that it was the public interaction that bothered them the most lately. And that is the disrespect, the spitting on, the non-discipline from people. And that wasn't their biggest issue. Their biggest issue and concern was simply that the people that are supposed to have their back, those in Hartford, don't anymore. Instead, many up in Hartford are siding with the criminals. It is a huge role reversal. And listen, we've had huge role reversals in everything going on, whether it's public safety, whether it's education. I mean, education, like I said, back in the day, if my teacher called home, it was my ass. Now, if a teacher calls home because a child is misbehaving, it's not my Johnny, not my Carol. It's never the child's fault anymore. And it makes it really difficult to do their job. Again, whether you're a school teacher or whether you're a police officer. And we wonder why we can't find either right now. It's hard to find a teacher willing to go into a public school system. It's hard to find good people to go into the police departments, to go in to be a state trooper. Our state troopers are in desperate need of additional troopers. They're retiring at a massive rate. Our local police department they're retiring at massive rates. And why is that? It's because they don't want to deal with the nonsense anymore. They're not going to deal with someone not having their back. It's just absolutely crazy. And anyone who thinks that let's look at the city. Let's look at the city here. You have Democrats. You have the majority leader. The majority, she became majority leader. The first thing she said was we need a CRB and we need to ring in the police department because they have use of force abuse, and that apparently they're racist. And they're not even hiding it anymore. They don't even hide it anymore. They openly want to defund our police department. They openly want to handcuff our police department. You know, it's funny. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to do... Now, this is something that most Republicans would never do. So, for Citizens Against Gun Violence, it's a far left-wing group who wants to abolish guns. That's really their job. That's what they want. That's what they really want. So they're endorsing my opponent. And they want me to come on and do a outreach with them. And I accepted that. Now, most people sit there and go, Joe, you're crazy. What are you're walking into the lion's den. But then, of course, those who really know me know I love the lion's den. Because at some point, you got to have the conversations with the other side that they might find to be uncomfortable. And they talk about wanting to eliminate gun violence in teens. Well, I got an idea. Why don't you let the police officers do their damn job and be able to search these cars? Now, the city of Meriden has done a phenomenal job at getting guns off the street. And then come in a bunch of politicians, social justice warriors. No. You can't search these cars. Even though you have probable cause, you can't search these cars no more. You can't get these guns off the street. It's absolute lunacy. And then they're wondering why gun violence is up. They want to know why violence is up. They want to know why juvenile delinquency is up. Because you're letting them get away with murder out there. Sometimes literally. They're not afraid anymore. They're not afraid. They know there's no repercussions for their actions. They're the victims. The police are the problem. Only in the eyes of a liberal can you say that. You can't even say, make the distinction between liberals and Democrats. We have to make that distinction again. Because they are not one and the same. They are not one and the same. I want people to make sure you understand that. There are now Democrats and liberals. Most Democrats don't like late-term abortions. Most Democrats don't like defund the police. Most Democrats don't like getting rid of cash bails. There's so many things that they don't like. But the far left is pushing them. There are a lot of Democrats that don't like boys playing in girls' high school sports. I would have thought that would just be just common sense. Apparently not. There are a lot of Democrats that are not down for what's going on. There are a lot of old school Democrats that need to wake up and see where their party's going and vote the other way. You know, I saw, I got to find it. I put a TikTok on my page the other day. Or no, today. I did today. I put a video. Now again, I don't agree with it 110%. I don't agree with it 110%, but the basis of the whole video is absolutely phenomenal. And I got to find it because I have to play it for you guys. It's like 3 minutes long. It's a TikTok, so obviously it's not Not far. All right, here it is. Here it is. Let's see if I can play this. See if you guys could hear it. I got to make sure you guys can hear it. Hold on a second. Now I can hear myself in my headphones. It's Can you guys hear it? Let me know if you can hear it. If you okay. I'm gonna have to switch this. Because this is something that everybody should hear. Because I think it's extremely important. That, you know what? I understand, and again, listen, I'm a conservative. Allow access. Okay, hold on a second. Let me audio. Here we go.
The right to keep and bear the arms that we'll need for the fight. And while we've clung to that amendment with all of our might, other rights have been withdrawn. The right to representative democracy is done. It is money that's selecting all the candidates who run. It is money buying policies that impact everyone. And we fell for the con. Tyranny just overthrew ya. Your guns no use 'cause they outdrew ya. But you don't realize it, do ya? The truth is now long gone. Our leaders passing laws that only benefit the rich. They take our last resources with a clever bait and switch. HMOs and banks and corporate CEOs that they enrich. And that's what's going on. Most voters favor tighter regulations on the banks and taxes for the billionaires, but they just say no thanks. 'Cause that, of course, is socialism. You fill in the banks, but it's you they prey upon. Don't let party platform fool ya. Excuse us for a moment while we school ya. You can't let partisanship rule ya, or the madness will go on and on and on and on.
Listen, this is how we talk about this all the time.
Our right to privacy is gone, devices are the spies. For government surveillance, those are now the ears and eyes. They use the corporate data, no subpoenas, no surprise. And still we don't catch on. You can now be fired for expressing what you think, whether you're at work or doing dishes in your sink. Your union cannot help you, they fell prey to doublethink. They lost the marathon. You decide who's gonna rule ya. Look beyond the red and blue to find a way you can cut through the corruption that lives on.
It's heavy.
You have no right to education if among the poor, and if you try a life of debt is what you have in store. Education is related to the years you are good for, and those years are soon gone. Corporations freely do their business as monopolies. They're poisoning the planet and they do just as they please, destroying the free market while they spread like a disease as they keep marching on.
Rock politicians help that.
No longer can we just stick to the party politics due to the fact that they are out to screw ya, and that you
not everything is accurate on here, but it's damn close.
50 companies provided all the news in 84. Now there's only 6, it's 44, less than it was before. A media consensus now exists for every war, and the wars go on and on. We can recover from this if we wake up and get smart. It's a long, slow process, but a step is where we start. Let's ignore the menu and start choosing a la carte till the party power is gone. We're the ones who hold the power. This must be our finest hour. We're the ones we must empower, so the truth goes marching on and on.
I mean, listen, like I said, it wasn't, I don't believe 100% of what they're saying on there, but I tell you what, most of it is damn on point. On point. Things we've been talking about forever on this show, since the inception of this show. That's why I say, listen, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative. But at the end of the day, it's what's right and wrong. And I will blast a Republican just as fast as I will blast a Democrat. Because at the end of the day, it's for you, the taxpayer, the citizens of this city, state, and country that matters. And we all must sit there and join together and be the watchdog from our government against our government. It's not too late. It's not too late. Like they said, we have to start with the first step. And the first step is changing what's going on. And if you see issues, vote those people out. You know, it always blows my mind. Like Congress. Congress usually has like an 8% approval rating. But if you ask the people, how do they feel about their congressperson? Oh, they're the greatest. They're the greatest. Apparently not. That just shows you how uninformed or uneducated you are on the subject of your congressperson. If you ask me, Washington, D.C. is the most corrupt place on earth. No matter which side. There's very, very few people in D.C. I trust. Because they're all making money. I think there was a article that came out. 310 transactions. 46 Republicans, 52 Democrats. They made trades on the stock market. Every single one of them was a home run. And most of them sit on the oversight committees of those companies that actually regulate those companies. Oh, we need George Logan more than you'll ever know. More than you'll ever know. George Logan, who's running in the 5th Congressional District against Joanna Hayes. We need George more now than ever. And I think George is going to win. I think George has an absolute terrific chance of winning. But I don't want anyone, and I know he's been getting a lot of press, he's been getting a lot of publicity. We got to be careful with that. We need to be careful with that. Because if anyone remembers 2 years ago, they were jonesing up this woman from Milford that she was going to beat Rosa DeLauro. She had all the momentum going, this and that. And I think Republicans got a little easy going there. And she ended up losing by a lot. You know, she was a wealthy individual. She was spending a lot of her own money. I don't want Republicans. I don't want Democrats who are really looking for change and independence to get lazy. We need them. We need you all to show up. And not only show up, but we need you to make sure you're getting the people within your circle of influence. We talk about that a lot on this show. Your circle of influence. We need to make sure you're reaching out to everybody in your circle of influence to make sure they know what is going on and to make sure they get out there and vote. That's what each and every one of us could do here today. For all the people that will watch this show, if you get 10 people, if you educate 10 people within your circle of influence, we can add thousands of votes to the bottom line on November 8th. That is our job. It's my job to motivate you to do it. Listen, I just had the 13th Senate District ticket. That's it. It takes a team effort to get over the finish line. A team effort. No one person could do it themselves. I am just the one out front taking the arrows. No problem. There's no arrow that's gonna sit there and penetrate. And again, when you don't need them for anything or want anything from them, you are the most dangerous person in the world to them. When you care about nothing but right or wrong, you are dangerous. And if you have money to back it up, oh my God. We can do this November 8th. If we all do it together. With that said, I mean, I could go on for literally another hour. But we will leave it at that for tonight. We'll have our normal show on Sunday at 7 o'clock. I look forward to that. Starting next Thursday, we are doing every Thursday at 7 o'clock. We're doing our town halls. So if you know anyone that lives in Cheshire, Meriden, Middletown, Middlefield, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you guys. So again, get the word out there. Share it. Make sure that people are here next Thursday and every Thursday. Especially if they're liberals. Well, not liberals, but make sure if they're definitely Democrats that are on the fence, bring them to the show and say, go ask your questions. You could text them here. You could email them to us. You could call in if you want to the show. There is nothing off limits here on this show. There never has been. There never will be. We will discuss anything because if you're not willing to have the tough discussions, you are not a leader. If you're afraid of the risk of being offended or offensive, you are not a leader. You do not belong in power. We had those conversations here. That's why we're here, so we could talk about them. We don't have to agree at the end of the day, but at least we could understand and respect each other's views, and we can leave here still liking each other. There is not a single Democrat that I do not like. This is why I have so many Democrats support here in this race. That's why Democrats are screaming for my Democrat for Villano signs again. Because we have an understanding. We could come to common ground on most things. But we'll talk more about that on Sunday. Guys, as always, I absolutely love you guys. I appreciate you guys dealing with all the technical issues. Facebook, you can't cancel us. You can't cancel us. Screw you. Screw you, Mark Zuckerberg. There's always ways around it. We're still here, stronger than ever. Screw them. They're not going to cancel us. We're going to be here twice a week, here till election. Guys, until then, I absolutely love you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Guys, everybody, 10 o'clock, 10 to 1, 200 Research Parkway. Star Dance Academy is doing a car wash bake sale. Let's make sure everyone's there. I'm going to stop by there. You can wash my truck. I'm going to drop off a donation check from Filler Up for you guys too. So until then, guys, until next time, I love each and every one of you. So God bless you. And obviously, God bless this amazing country we get the privilege to live in. I'll see you guys on Sunday.
And a million faces formed together, made for elevation. And a soldier won't surrender. Faith is like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you pry it from the cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder, magic, static. Call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance. You can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping in the shadows could be making history. Through the fire, on the water, used to be a slave, but now